Well, hello there. Welcome back to another session of Virtual Field Trips, Travels, and Destinations. My name is Beth Gaff, and I'm the Systems Manager, Technology Trainer, and Robotics Instructor here at the Peabody Public Library. Can you tell what kind of planet I am? If you guessed Mars, then you're right. Today's field trip is all about Mars, and I'm super excited. I can't wait for our exploration today. So without further ado, let's get started on traveling Mars. Well, hello there. Welcome back to another session of Virtual Field Trips, Travels, and Destinations. As mentioned in our introduction, my name is Beth Gaff, and I am the Systems Manager, Technology Trainer, and Robotics Instructor here at the Peabody Public Library. Today we're going to do an exploration of Mars. I am so excited about this field trip. As you probably know, I've never been to Mars. I'm sure you haven't either. So being able to see this exploration really is pretty cool. We're going to look at some 360s all the way around, some videos, and I have a couple of these PowerPoints. So the program's mission. So this one is actually an activity. However, I am going to be including some lesson plans and activities in our virtual field trip today. So you'll have those links as well. So to continue exploring on Mars and give new scientific information and discovery through orbiters and landers, which will provide communication between Mars and Earth. So here it says, click here to learn more about that. All right, so it takes us into a Mars overview for exploring. Mars is the 4th planet from the Sun and the 7th largest. It's the only planet we know of inhabited entirely by robots. Interesting. So these go into feature topics, fascinating Mars rock. So it's showing us different kind of rock on the Mars, and it talks a little bit more about that. Updated 10 things about Mars. International Science Fleet on Mars. Curiosity discovers mysterious surge. Evidence of ancient wave ripples, first quake, first view of Mars deep, the impact on Mars, a rover comes to an end, a dust storm spreads across, water ice on Mars, and the orbiter images. So there's a lot of information here that can be had. So I will make sure that I include this link so you're able to explore a little further. Curiosity discovers a surprise. So this talks about the rocks that they find on the planet. So let's take a look at this. NASA's Curiosity Mars rover has been driving into the Geddes Valles Channel, an ancient feature formed by water and debris. This is where Curiosity discovered pure sulfur from the first time ever on Mars. You can explore these areas and spot the following. So this is Pinnacle Ridge that they're showing us now. Can we actually explore? Oh, we can. Look. Not showing us the rover. So there's another type of ridge. This is the drill mammoth. We swept to dust for enhanced studies. Sulfur stones. And that takes us back to the ridge. So that was pretty neat. You can explore that a little bit further if you'd like. Talks about the floods and the volcanoes, or I'm sorry, avalanches. A hole in 41. More about the mission. AI is changing Mars rover science. So this must be them exploring some of the rock that was retrieved from Mars, because they do think that Mars is a planet that we would actually be able to survive and live on, is why they are going through all of this with doing the exploration like they do. So this is showing us some of the AI, which is artificial intelligence, and how they're able to use it in what they're doing. Mars overview. Mars is no place for the faint-hearted. It's dry, rocky, and bitter cold. The fourth planet from the sun, Mars is one of Earth's two closest planetary neighbors. Venus is the other. Mars is one of the easiest planets to spot in the night sky. It looks like a bright red point of light. Despite being inhospitable to humans, robotic explorers like NASA's Perseverance rover are serving as pathfinders to eventually get humans to the surface of the red planet. Six-wheeled geologist found a fascinating rock that has been indications that have hosted microbial life billions of years ago, but further research is needed. Where do we go? Mars is one of the most explored bodies in our solar system, and it's the only planet where we've sent rovers to explore the alien landscape. NASA's mission has found lots of evidence that Mars was much wetter and warmer with a thicker atmosphere billions of years ago. So this is showing the planet itself, showing you where the others are. So we've got Jupiter down here, and Uranus, and several others. So it's just on an axis going right now. You can zoom in and out of that. Mars sample. So this is just more about the Odyssey, the orbiter, and the rovers.
The Mars Perseverance rover is about to start climbing out of the crater it landed on, and it's exploring rocks that are amongst the oldest we've seen on Mars, or the youngest. Join us as we investigate to find out. We're here in the Mars Yard at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. This is where we test robotic prototypes as we explore Mars. Right now, the real Perseverance rover is in the main channel that once fed Jezero Crater. Picture rushing water carrying big boulders and sediment as it filled the crater. But getting there was a slog. It was slow going through an area called the margin unit, which is really rocky and hilly. But once we got out of the rocks, we passed through a dune field, and it has been smooth sailing ever since. Now that we're in the channel, we're seeing things we've never seen before, like this interesting boulder pile. Can you tell which rock is not like the others? We want to know, what is this rock and where did it come from? Many of the boulders we see at the Martian surface represent ancient lava flows that have broken up and eroded over time. But a rock like this one might have come from deeper in the crust and could be amongst the oldest rocks we've seen or studied on Mars. It could also have come from the ancient rocks exposed nearby in the crater rim, which we're about to explore. Before we get to the rim, though, we're making a stop at a site called Bright Angel. The rocks there could contain sediments deposited by one of the last bursts of water into the crater, and could be amongst the youngest rocks we've looked at yet. Perseverance is equipped with cameras, geochemistry instruments, and an underground radar. We're going to use observations from these instruments to determine how and when these rocks formed. And depending on what we find, we may decide to sample these rocks. Whether Bright Angel is older or younger than what we've seen before in the crater, these rocks could be an important bookend to our Jezero sample collection. With Jezero in the rearview mirror, I'm most looking forward to this next phase of exploration on the crater rim.
All right, so that just gives us a little bit of an overview.
The Mars Perseverance rover is about to start climbing.
We don't need that again. These are just different reads about Mars, humans to Mars, discover more topics. about Mars. So there's a lot of information that can be had from that. All right, so we'll look at that in a minute. So did you know, and I'm sorry, this is cutting this off a little. There we go. The exploration program is being used to further study Mars as a planet and understand how many amazing new things there are. So let's click on this. Okay, so this just takes us back to where we were a moment ago. So NASA's Mars helicopter Ingenuity arrives at Mars on February 18, 2021. The mission of this helicopter is to show the first powered flight on another planet. So let's take a look at that. So sorry about that. Looks like it's buffering and loading. Well, it just doesn't like us today. Let me pause and try it again. Nope. So this may be a video that you're going to want to watch about the Mars helicopter. Maybe it'll catch itself. Oh, here we go. It's a tiny thing. It looks almost like a drone. And there's our rover. Solar panels, perhaps? Well, it's obviously another planet that has gravity because everything's down and you have to fly this to get it to go. And it's not just floating. So you could research a little bit more about that and find out more information about about the Mars helicopter. And it looks like they have more videos that you could take a look at to look more into that. This selfie was taken by NASA's Curiosity Mars rover on February 26, 2020. Check out Curiosity's takes selfie. Oh, looks like they've moved it. I'm not sure if we can get to it or not. Let's give it a whirl. Nope, it is no longer up and going. So let's see if they can show us pictures anyway. Okay, well, I don't see any others, but you can explore it a little bit more and see if any of those are gonna work for you. NASA's exploration program continues to study Mars to further understand the formation of Mars as a planet, the history and climate process that has shaped Mars over time, the potential Mars has to have hosted life, and how Mars compares and contrasts with Earth. So let's look at the different rover missions that have been from robots to humans. So these are recorded observations that date back more than 4,000 years ago. Here's more about the rover basics. This is the Mariner, from 1964. So you could go in and look at all of these in the timeline and what exactly they've been doing. So more of the program, some samples. This is the Maven. So there are a lot of articles to tell you more about some of the items that have landed on Mars to get the research that they're actually looking for. Lots and lots of articles. NASA is re-imaging the future of Mars exploration, driving new scientific discoveries, and preparing humans on Mars. NASA's Mars exploration program will focus the next 2 decades on its science-driven, systematic approach on these strategic goals, exploring for potential life, understanding the geology and climate of Mars, and the preparation for human exploration. And this is just more from NASA. All right, so we are going to enter the 360 now. I do have this as a link for you as well. So that NASA link is going to be available for you, as well as the entering 360 to Mars. So we're going to go ahead and enter that.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Main engine start, 0, and liftoff of the Atlas V with Curiosity.
This looks like our rover.
Hi, I'm Katie, NASA JPL research scientist on the Curiosity mission. Welcome to Mars.
Okay, so we can learn about the Curiosity mission by clicking the points of interest and highlighted. We can move from point to point, and we can travel to different missions. Let's travel here. So this is a point to point.
All the terrain around you has been created using real data and images from Curiosity. By taking photos with 2 side-by-side cameras, we can reconstruct the terrain in 3D. This photo, taken from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, shows the landing site where you're standing now. It also shows where other parts of the landing system ended up, like the rocket-powered descent stage and the parachute. Some areas are black and white because they were only photographed by Curiosity's lower resolution navigation cameras. Frequently, Curiosity has to move on before it can photograph everything with its higher resolution mast cams.
Back to that map. So you can definitely explore more of this. I'm probably going to end up getting dizzy here going back and forth, but you can clearly see how the 360 is going to be beneficial. So you can go through and just kind of explore. It looks like on the map we can go to the landing site, so you can go to different spots. Okay. So I will definitely include that in our items. All right, so we already saw that. Tour of the Moon. I've got this in a 4K.
The Moon. It's our nearest neighbor in space. and data we gather from its features can tell us a lot about the rest of our solar system. And through the eyes of the LRO spacecraft, we can explore the lunar surface.
Mars today, I'm not going to get into this tour, but there is a tour of the moon that you can take a look at. We want to keep that. Okay, so we are not going to take a look at the moon, because today we are investigating on the on Mars. So we're not going to watch the moon, but you can go back in later and take a look at that. Let's see. I thought I had another PowerPoint. Okay, so I am just going to go over, this is going to actually be something I'm going to share. Let's see if I can. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be able to share this link with you so you're able to go in, and this is just an activity you can do with Mars. There's obviously more exploration that you can do using the NASA website, which I will most definitely include for you. And you're able to go into some of the missions, more of the exploration, multimedia, and obviously the entire solar system. So this will be included for you, as well as some lesson plans. Okay, so I'm going to make this quick because I am running out of space to be able to say this, and I do apologize. But there's going to be lots of lesson plans for you to go through, links for you to explore a little bit further. So we just dug into the surface today, but you can go a lot deeper with whatever it is that you're trying to do. So thank you for being a part of our virtual field trip today. I really appreciate it. Without you, there'd be no reason for me to have these. If you have any ideas of things that we can do for virtual field trips, please send them my way. You can email me here at bgaff@ppl.lib.in.us. Hey, thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you in the next virtual field trip. All right, so I was able to find that other, I don't know why it's doing that. But I was able to find the other PowerPoint. So this is the solar system in Mars. And I don't know why there's closed captioning at the bottom, but there it is. So Mars is known as the red planet, as seen from outer space. And this is our size comparison to those. Both planets have a similar tilt in 24-hour, 24.65-hour day cycles. Mars orbits the sun every 687 Earth days. This is when the two planets are closest together in their orbits. So this is an opposition. So it shows you Earth and it shows you Mars. Historical observation. This is how Mars appeared in the sky to ancient people. So there's another thing that you could actually investigate a little bit more into, is some of the ancient exploration of Mars as well. So probes and rovers have taken incredible pictures of Mars, such as the following. Impact crater on the Mars. Height comparison of Olympus Mons and the Mauna Kea and Mount Everest. This shows you the Grand Canyon in comparison. Grand Canyon is 18 miles wide, 1 mile deep. Full ice water on Mars. This talks about SpaceX's plan for the Mars rocket. So this would be another investigation that you could do as well. What Mars might look like one day. Okay, so this is future going forward. Martian moons. And that's that. So I told you earlier that there was a PowerPoint that I wanted to show you and I couldn't find it, and I found it. So I wanted to make sure to put that on there for you. So these give you a little bit more topics for things that you can discover by doing Mars. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know I've already closed once, but I'm closing us again to let you know that I was able to find this, and I wanted to make sure that I got it out there for you. So thanks again for being a part of Virtual Field Trip Travels and Destinations. And I will see you in August when we will be exploring dinosaur exhibits. So see you then. Thanks, everyone.